Welcome home. I know this place isn't as warm as I'd hoped, but I'm going to light a vanilla candle, and it's going to be a game changer.
Will it though?
We're out.
Other more powerful entities may come through.
Not on our watch.
Well, what are you gonna do? Seriously?
Yeah. They're already dead.
You're gonna be deader.
Okay.
So another Haunted Mansion movie.
Yeah. How many is it making now? Is it 3?
I don't know if there was an original one, but there definitely was the Eddie Murphy one, which...
Oh, right. Yeah.
This one seems to call back a little bit.
Then...
Was there an OG Haunted Mansion? I don't think there ever was an OG Haunted Mansion.
so either.
Oh, actually, no. I think there was, now that I think about it. Like, there was a time where like there were just some weird like that darn cat 60s, 70s era.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a Haunted Mansion movie, but just double check.
Let's see.
It looks fun. I like Owen Wilson. I like Danny DeVito. You ever see Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, he saved that
It's
show.
like Twisted Friends. It's the best. It's really good.
Twisted Friends.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, it looks like there's only 2.
So there was no original. Okay, well, anyway.
Yeah. So
Haunted Mansion is back. You were saying there's some call outs to the original?
Well, to the ride. So like there's scenes. You have the Hatbox Ghost, which was brought over to Disneyland. I don't know if it's at any other park around the world. Then you have some, the piano, I believe, is from the one in Florida. And then you have this flying paper scene, which is, I believe, in Tokyo Disney. So that's pretty cool.
Flying papers like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, welcome back to Shop Talk Movie News, our 59th installment on Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Marc Rubalcaba, joined once again by Mr. Abel Pineda. And we have a special surprise for you a little later, but until then, we have some news to get to.
As always.
I have some weird news.
Tell me.
So, as you may or may not know, Hellboy is being rebooted in The Crooked Man.
Wait, it is?
Yes, and they have recast yet a third Hellboy actor, Jack Kesy.
Who is that?
That's the thing. They're like, Deadpool 2 actor, Jack Kesy to star as Hellboy in The Crooked Man. I think he's just a random prisoner. Remember when he went to prison? When Deadpool went to prison for like a minute?
He did?
Yeah. I don't know who.
Man, I feel like there have been like tons of Deadpool movies, even though there's only been 2.
2.5.
2.5.
Once Upon a Deadpool.
Yeah.
Was a re-release.
The PG version.
Which I still haven't seen. I
have not seen it.
I was hyped to see it until everyone said it sucked.
Yeah. It's not Deadpool.
Yeah.
It's just dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says it right here. Deadpool 2 star Jack Kesy cast as Hellboy in reboot The Crooked Man. All right.
I thought The Crooked Man was a Conjuring.
Yeah,
spin-off.
that's what it sounds
That's what
like.
I thought it was at first.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. Then you're like, wait a minute. Blumhouse is not attached to this.
No.
Let's see. I think.
Okay.
I have like 2 bits of news here.
Okay, before you get to those 2 bits of news, I do have some other spooky news.
Ooh.
As it turns out, as we know, Scream 6 is releasing soon.
Oh, yeah.
There have been multiple sightings across the country that Ghostface has been appearing in various places. And people have been calling 911 because they see Ghostface hanging out.
That's crazy. And the thing is, I don't know about you, but I can't recall the last time, if this is it, if there's been like guerrilla marketing,
They started to do some guerrilla marketing, like real good guerrilla marketing for The Dark Knight by sending like bowling balls and stuff like sent from the Joker. And then the whole Heath Ledger thing happened. So then they had to like abandon some of that.
Oh, no.
So that would have been cool. And then there was another one. I forget. I think it was The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Where there were people on like the chat roulette sites.
Yes.
And it was like a girl like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like they would have like dudes like, hey, baby, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then she would get possessed.
No way.
And then like.
I just read about like some situations, but no, I've never actually seen it.
And then freak out.
Yeah.
And then like there's like all on webcam.
Yeah.
And you see the people like, oh my God, like freak out. Oh, and I got another one.
Yeah.
When the Carrie remake happened.
I remember that movie. I do not remember any of that.
When the Carrie remake happened, they literally commandeered a coffee shop and had a couple fighting.
Yeah.
Who were the actors.
Okay.
And everyone else was legitimate.
Like just people.
Patrons. Legitimate patrons.
Just NPCs.
So the girl had powers. So when they were arguing, she freaked out, pushed him like all the way to the end, and then like she got up and like rose or whatever.
No way.
And everyone, you just see everyone blown out.
Good.
Blown out.
As they should. As you should.
Yeah. So
Plane of glasses. No
there it
space
is.
here.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Holy crap.
So waving ghost faces at street corners like Liberty taxes.
That's nuts, man.
Not as scary. But anyway, people are calling the police.
Yeah, man.
Because as you may or may not know, Ghostface is a serial killer, and not only a serial killer, a whodunit. We never know who. And according to Sonoma Police Department, which is near San Francisco, this individual has been contracted and was hired by a company through Paramount to promote the new Scream movie.
Oh man.
So there's pictures.
Was it just like so he's all around the country?
He's all around the country. There's pictures of him, like I said, in California, Colorado, and a blizzard in Arizona. You can see him.
No way.
You can see him in the corner there.
That's so cool, man.
So I am looking forward to that. So at least that's a pretty crazy marketing.
Pretty
there.
rad. We'll have something here, a little, kind of pumping the brakes here. But I enjoy this. I didn't know that this show was Jon Favreau produced. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever got to see it. It's on Apple Plus. It's Prehistoric Planet. It's
I've seen the ads for it.
So it's really good. It's really well produced.
Is that the one where the dinosaurs and the monkeys were in a movie?
Yeah, like just all dinosaurs, everything. It's just all dinosaurs and or monkeys, whatever.
I think that was Pixar's Dinosaur, where there were monkeys
Probably.
in it. Anyway,
it's all the same thing.
Yeah,
Disney owns all of it. But now there's going to be a second season, and it's going to come out sooner than we thought. It's coming out in May. This May.
That's like tomorrow.
I just saw the news. Yeah, I mean today's freaking. It's March already.
How'd that happen?
I have no idea.
When are the Ides of March? The 12th?
When are the what?
Ides. Hey Google, when is the Ides of March?
The Ides of March will be on Wednesday, March 15th.
There you go.
Okay, so the Ides of March is when Julius, was it Julius Caesar or
I can't recall.
He was murdered in Beware the Ides of March. It was a famous saying, and then he was stabbed.
So he was all kinds of dead.
Yeah, if you ever see the, I think it was Shakespeare had a play.
Yeah.
Where everyone stabs him. It's the old stabbing him one after time.
Yeah.
And then his friend, it's very famous. What do you remember? What his friend said?
No.
Et tu, Brute? No, that's what he said to him.
Dude,
you too, Brutus.
Dude,
and then he killed him.
I stopped caring about Shakespeare back in high school when I was forced to read. I don't know how many of his plays. So,
Et tu, Brute?
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Super neat.
Yeah.
It's not neat.
What?
Because apparently fans are trying to sue Warner Brothers Discovery for featuring Henry Cavill in Black Adam. Apparently it was like misleading enough that people are suing because now they've gotten rid of Henry Cavill. Or Cavill.
Cavill. I hate Cavill.
Cavill's with an E, right?
I don't think we've seen the last of Henry Cavill as Superman.
I don't think so either.
Because the way he said it, even though he did write that like letter thing.
Yeah. People wrote that lengthy thing for him.
I think he's going to come back on the TV shows.
I think so too.
And also somehow in The Flash, it seems to take place in the Cavill verse.
Yes.
So something has to have happened to Henry Cavill's Superman. And as long as they explain it, and then it looks like they will in The Flash, since General Zod and the whole incident is there.
It's like,
and I will take Michael Keaton's Batman over Henry Cavill's ending.
yeah, 100%.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this when we looked at the Flash trailer.
Yeah.
Canonically, is that the word maybe? I've had a lot of beer.
He's had less than
Do you know who played or who is Superman in the Michael Keaton verse?
No.
I'm going to give you one guess. And I bet you can guess it right.
I forget his name all the time. I can't remember his freaking name.
According to sources, when Nicolas Cage was supposed to be Superman.
It was when What's-His-Face was doing all. It was supposed to be his movie.
Yeah, Michael Keaton was to be Batman.
Yeah.
So, canonically, Nicolas Cage is Superman in the Keaton verse.
In my heart, Nicolas Cage, you are the Man of Steel.
Exactly, he actually was.
I know.
There's pictures of him in the suit and everything. With the long hair and the black suit. And he was going to fight Brainiac. So
good.
So I will.
That's awesome.
I will take. Maybe that's why he's not in Spider-Verse. Because he's actually Superman on the down low.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
Man.
He is the
Nick
Rocket
Cage is
Man.
making a comeback.
Speaking of men from the stars, we have a lot of Star Trek news. You know what that means?
What does it mean?
Star Trek Watch! And look at this.
What's up?
I've come prepared. Oh,
Whoa.
dude.
Look at that.
Costumes.
I'm in my dress robes.
I know, right? Ready to go to the ball.
Oh, nice. See you there, Harry.
And now, for a special guest, Bryan Kreutz, host and producer of the broadcast TV talk show, A Captain's Log, and joined with him writer Marclare Curry. How you guys doing?
Very well, yourselves.
Good.
Good, great. We have you here.
Awesome.
We've adorned ourselves in our proper attire. I'm joined here by Captain Pineda, but I am Admiral Rubalcaba, and we are going to talk some Star Trek. And as we usually start with Shop Talk Movie News, which is the segment we're all on, let's talk some Star Trek news, which actually just dropped today. So it looks like Discovery will end with season 5. Ooh. So that actually just dropped just now. I think I am kind of bittersweet because I feel like it kind of did lose momentum there. But I like a Star Trek show to go to 7 seasons.
I mean, for me, I'm gonna say when it comes to like finales or anything like that, I say don't Game of Thrones it. Like, don't just rush things out like really fake. Like, I mean, I love the aspect with her and her mother being like the Red Angel and everything, like, because that had that foreboding suspense. And I'm kind of like, okay, it can end like that for me. But then there's also the point of like, okay, well, there's so much more in the galaxy. So it's kind of like, do you keep it or do you not? So I'm kind of on the fence with it.
Yeah. That was a pretty good actually arc now that you talk about with Captain Pike and them going back to the future.
That's where I know Star Trek from.
Yeah. I don't know, Brian, how do you feel about it?
I really am kind of bittersweet to it. I will take really any Star Trek as long as it's a good narrative and it ties back to Gene Roddenberry's original vision. And there's still pieces and aspects to it tying back to that vision. I do like the Red Angel, to Marclare's point, with being Michael Burnham's mother. That was a really cool mystery and story arc that they had built into it. But let's look at the season finale for season 4. And to me, it was good to see Admiral Vance and Tilly, like 2 completely separate generations. One a fleet admiral, on this movable Starfleet headquarters, seeing the destruction from this dark matter, there's 2 really dark matter entities out there. To me, it reminds me of V'ger, from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. This entity it's almost like it's an insurmountable chance for Earth to win. And it was cool to see Tilly back. She was a part of the main cast for so long, but just seeing her stick to her guns and saying, "No, I'm staying put here." When it's an all abandoned ship type thing, even though they're on like a Starfleet headquarters. I liked it, but the ending of the president being Stacey Abrams, I'm not understanding why we try to pick political sides and bring someone in to be the president of Earth like that. I mean, I get that Stacey Abrams is a huge Star Trek fan. God love her for that. That's awesome. But to have that open door, I don't know if it was a political stunt for the producers of Star Trek to take that side. It was just kind of off-putting in a way. However, I really did like that dark matter anomaly, or 2 dark matter anomaly entities being this like greater than an entire Klingon fleet or Romulan fleet, like cloaking and like maneuvering and coming up with this great battle. It was something different and fresh to see, because apparently these are like 5 light years long in size. These dark matter anomalies, they're crazy. So I like Star Trek Discovery. I'm a little disappointed that it's ending in season 5, because to your point, Marcus, is 7 seasons is completion. That's what we're used to. And if it's not 7 seasons, it's another Star Trek Enterprise, right? Which I did like Enterprise, but some people don't. Well, it's just not complete.
I was thinking it should be either 3 or 7. They should figure out a way to either finish it at 3 or 7. Right. 4 is an odd number for Star Trek.
For me, with any TV show, I like it. Barring Star Trek, I don't have the attention span to keep it more than 3 seasons. 3 seasons is when I just start going like, all right, all of this is just filler at this point. So for me, I want it fast. I want it quick. And that means that puts everybody under the gun for developing a great show.
And to get to your point, Breaking Bad ended on 5 seasons.
Yeah.
So there is a precedent to great TV ending, but I do think that they're now that I was kind of thinking about it, there are a lot of open plot holes that they haven't tied up yet in Discovery. One being the cat Grudge, because they were hinting that he was an alien for a while, like he might have been a shapeshifter because I think he actually saved them. Didn't like he come out of stasis or something while they were all on the ship? So I like Grudge. So how you gonna have this Chekhov's gun of a Maine Coon cat on a ship for no reason if he's not part of? Remember Spot? Even Spot was part of was able to change his gender, and he was a part iguana too. Remember
Iguana?
Yeah.
Yes.
Spot was an orange tabby cat, and he got infected with a virus that de-evolved him, and he de-evolved into an iguana, but still had kittens.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
that's
deep
news
cut
to
there.
me.
So,
A lot of cat connections in Star Trek. Even in the original series, there was a Catwoman, remember, in Assignment Earth, the episode The Black Cat that changed to Isis, the Catwoman.
yeah, and
There's cat references everywhere.
I forget the name of the doctor on Lower Decks, but she's the doctor on Lower Decks is a cat. And also there was
Anna, yes.
yeah, and then there was the cat stripper in the Final Frontier, who had
That's right, the movie,
who had
yes.
6 nipples. The other thing that I want to see is more David Cronenberg. I feel like
he's great.
I feel like he would be a good Star Trek spinoff there, because he would be part of the Star Trek X-Files. You know, why boldly go and just do spatial anomalies when we can solve mysteries in space?
He's a good one.
Yeah.
Cronenberg's a good one.
Yeah, and then to your point, I do think that the anomaly that they were chasing at the end was the most Roddenberryan villain that we've seen in Star Trek for a while. And I think my least favorite Star Trek is actually Enterprise, just because it just became Voyager 2.0 for a little while. At least the first seasons were. So I don't think Discovery went there. They did get a little Doctor.
You're right.
Yeah. They did get a little Doctor Who with the size of the actual Discovery, though, in the end, on that turbolift battle.
Is that a comment, a positive or a negative? Because you're speaking to a Whovian. You're speaking to a Whovian here too.
It's a positive for Doctor Who.
Okay.
Just because it is a starship should not be bigger on the inside in that era. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Unless they actually mean to, oh, by the way, we use time-space technology and we build more in the inside. Oh, that makes sense. But they didn't say that, So yeah, definitely.
Riker hits his head, and being in the holodeck of the old Enterprise NX-01 back of his Archer's ship, he almost hits his head. They make a point that it's so cramped and small and tiny, even in the finale episode. So to your point, yeah, it's supposed to be small.
Yeah, and I think another reason why I didn't like Enterprise as much, I was really hoping to get a submarine feel. I really wanted to see some Hunt for Red October on the bridge going on there. I think back to that Simpsons episode where Homer took over a submarine and George Takei was the helmsman.
Oh my.
Oh my. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh my God. That one cut deep.
Yeah, right. He declared war on so many different countries, and the Soviet Union came out of retirement.
Oh man!
And then he came out and said, "It's okay, it's my first day," and everyone just laughed him out. Anyway, and then other Star Trek news: Chris Pine apparently in the dark when it comes to Star Trek, saying he feels like it's a cursed project. Star Trek 4. He says it's frustrating, and he's out of the loop. Yeah. I think we've counted many false starts of Star Trek 4.
Yeah, many. I mean, how do you guys feel about Chris Pine in Star Trek, in any verse?
I mean, my gosh, it goes all the way back. I'm going to show my age, but I loved watching his dad, Robert Pine, in Chips, and then also as a guest star in Star Trek.
His dad.
That's his dad.
Oh, wow.
And it gets even better from a Star Trek perspective. He was in Voyager twice. He's guest starred in Star Trek even before Chris Pine was thought of as Captain Kirk. So it's a family thing.
I did not catch that.
Now that is what we...
Absolutely.
It's a ding right there for you guys.
Give it an Inception.
That's fantastic. Look at that. And for me, for Star Trek with me, that I was aware of it growing up and all this stuff, but I didn't really get into any Star Trek until, the Abrams first came out. And that's when I was just like, oh, this is fun. This is, to me, as someone who grew up as a Star Wars fan, I was like, hey, this is gonna tow me into, deeper space, we'll say.
Well, Star Trek Beyond was a real good Star Trek movie, I
Yeah.
think, too, because it wasn't anything we've seen before.
Yeah. I did see that one too.
Even though it was revenge from some guy.
Yeah. Well, some guy.
This is like after Wrath of Khan, it's just always revenge from some guy.
Yeah.
It was good. I agree. It was like an episode movie, but a good one. Not like so much like Insurrection, where it was a 3-part episode of Next Gen. It was just really good. It went back to the roots of Star Trek, and I like the character development. It showed between this relationship of Bones and Kirk, just having a drink. Right, it just reminded me of DeForest Kelley and William Shatner, and Chris Pine, and in their form, in the new form.
Yeah, Chris
Just
Pine
to start
and
the
his
movie.
Yeah, and his Captain Pike were having a drink also.
Wait, what was that?
Chris Pine.
Yeah, at the bar.
At the bar.
With the little salt shakers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Salt shakers.
Salt shakers.
You know what kind of made me sad about that bar scene in the first Star Trek movie? They were sitting next to a big alien with a big long face when Uhura was ordering the Slusho drinks.
Yeah.
That should have been Morn. Come on, give me
It should have been more.
Give me a
yes.
Morn. There in Star Trek Deep Space Nine,
Okay,
there
so
was a
what's a
guy
Morn?
always at the bar.
Okay.
And it was a big alien, didn't say a word. But
was it?
apparently, whenever people talked about him in passing, he was always a big talker.
Yeah.
And every time someone asked him a question, he'd be like, "Whoop," and then he'd cut away.
Oh. That's great.
And Morn is the opposite. He's supposed to be the embodiment of Norm from Cheers. That's really where they kind of like.
Wow,
stole it
that's
from.
pretty cool.
Like the name's backwards too, right?
Yeah.
It's like an anagram. It was an anagram, basically.
Norm, yeah. Norm.
More.
Like Noob Saibot.
That's pretty good.
But the Chris Pine movies, they have had so many false starts with this one.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a horror movie for a second there.
Yes. You know, Discovery, so on the ships, they'll have registration numbers.
Yeah.
The Discovery registration, you guys remember what it was?
Star Trek Discoveries.
Registration number. Yeah.
You got me on that, and I'm a huge Trekkie.
1031.
No way.
Because
Halloween.
Brian Fuller founded the show and he wanted to make a horror story out of it.
Oh my man.
Oh wow.
1031.
Halloween date. Okay.
So
I can
that
dig
would be fantastic.
And also, speaking of Star Trek,
Tarantino's supposed to actually.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Quentin Tarantino was going to make Star Trek 4 also.
Yeah.
But I think he entered development with J.J. Abrams, so he can't even use it anymore, I think.
Yeah.
That's another reason why that one's not happening, because it belongs to Bad Robot. Dang. That's just my theory there. But that was the big deal was it was going to be another J.J. Abrams vehicle with Chris Helmsworth, and he was going to come back as his dad.
Yeah, and I think rumors recently came back up that he was supposed to be involved in this thing again. But I think he said he's like, I haven't heard of anything.
You know who I think Chris Helmsworth should have played in another Star Trek, in Star Trek 4? You know who I think he should play?
Who's that?
Q coming back in the form of his dad.
Just a snap of his fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
As long as it's a different Q and it's not supposed to be John Delancey's Q, because John Delancey
It could be a
owns
young
Q.
Q.
It could be a
Maybe
young
like a
Q.
younger Q.
well, I was almost.
that-
I always have a fan theory, Star Trek fantasy, or what do you call it, fan fiction in my head, where in another universe, all the omnipotent beings like the Trelanes and I can't think of any other ones, they all band together one day and start their own federation. Well, what do we call this? I know. Let's call it the Q. You know, it happened in the future though, like our future.
Would be pretty cool, man.
I don't know. That was kind of my thought there.
Well, it's a
That
Q
could,
continuum.
and that's why he needs Picard to to do his destiny. It's like, the trial never ends.
Yeah, and
Love that line.
we'll get into that when we talk more about Picard going forward. But yeah, I think they're gonna have to reboot Star Trek again. I don't know if we're gonna see that more of the Kelvin verse.
Yeah.
So
It would be cool. I mean, it feels like it doesn't feel like it needs a fourth one, but it kind of feels like it needs a fourth one just because it's had so many false starts. I feel like now everyone that actually wants it to happen is just like, just make it happen.
plus we lost Antoine Yelchin. We can't.
Yeah, we did.
We can't recast him, and now it's like a full trilogy of movies there.
Yeah. That's true.
So I don't know. I don't know where they'll go. But we did find was the Mirror Forever. What do we call that thing that they found in Discovery that was in the original? I am the Guardian of Forever. Yeah.
Guardian of Forever, from City on the Edge of Forever, that great original episode.
Yeah. Actually, there were some really good callbacks in Discovery now that I'm thinking about it. I actually think one of the better episodes of Star Trek in general is the one where Pike went back to the cage and found the Telosians again. and it was kind of like a follow up to the pilot
with the telepathy, and they could read people's minds.
Yeah,
Yes.
except they got rid of the butt heads on the back of their head. I was kind of sad about that.
Yeah.
And I remember the special effect. But anyway, so Star Trek Picard is going on right now. We're on season 3, episode 3, going on both on that. So if you haven't figured it out, Picard is back for a third and final season. On this last adventure, a terrorist attack on the Federation and a long-lost doctor seemingly reunite the cast of the Next Generation for one final mission. So, how are we feeling about Star Trek Picard season 3 so far? Any thoughts?
I'll let you start.
It's mind blowing. It's like, let's head back to the Rick Berman era of Star Trek, where everyone can relate and everyone likes the Next Generation. And it's not just like artificial or fan service. It's like organically placed in the narrative in every ounce of being. It's like there's closure now. I every time I see the episode Nepenthe, my favorite episode of season 1, it's like Troy and Riker and Picard
making pizza.
Making pizza, like hanging around, like not a campfire, but like a kind of like a campsite. It's their home. It's what we needed to see in the films, and it's like this is in film form what Star Trek Nemesis and Insurrection and First Contact and maybe even Generations was missing. Is we see a little bit of conflict between Troy and Riker, but or Picard and Troy, because she's always agreed with Jean-Luc Picard. And at this time, she confronts Jean-Luc about treating Soji with some type of perspective that he's not seeing. And he's trying to win Soji over, right? Mm-hmm. It's huge, because she doesn't, what can she believe? She thinks her entire life is a falsity, and it really is, because they're implanted like android memories. But I really just think Nepenthe was such a great episode. It was early in season 1, and Picard struggling to relate to Soji. Kestra, the daughter of Riker and Picard, is kind, funny, brave, fierce. She's awesome. She's everything that you would think a Riker would be, like the combination of her parents. And even the little scene you guys probably remember where Rios is on the La Sirena and Picard's like asking him for an ETA for the 3rd time. When does Jean-Luc Picard ever get shot down, right? Stop contacting me. It's the same. Nothing's changed. It was a good episode. And it's an epitome of Picard.
I was thinking we should see Rios come back, but as a hologram, like the Doctor.
Oh.
Because he's
like a pilot program or something.
Yeah, because he does exist as the holodeck in the La Sirena, so we can see Rios make a comeback, even though he's dead chronologically. There's a lot of twists and turns. Like
I wish I'd seen it, man. I didn't have the time.
Well, I was telling this guy the Pineverse does connect to the Star Trek Picard. It actually takes place after.
Oh,
so like if you remember, Spock went back in time.
He did.
Because there was a big Romulan explosion. Remember?
Yeah.
Don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen. So to Picard and everybody else, this happened.
Yeah.
So this is a post-Romulus explosion world, which I'm kind of sad they never mentioned. Like there's no statue to Spock going back in time and dying. I guess he failed.
Yeah.
Or he succeeded in the timeline changed and like everyone's minds got rewiped. It's like, did
that
he
could happen
fail
too?
Well, Romulus doesn't exist as part of the whole story. So Spock went down as an epic failure.
You still have Remus. You still have the history of Remus. You have holographic history. I don't know. They should have given him a little bit of tribute there, because the dark matter was like a big deal, in the first J.J. Abrams film, Star Trek 11, and that was a big plot. It wasn't just a cameo, and that was fan service appearance for Nimoy.
And that was pretty badass with the red matter.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yes, red matter. Did I say dark matter?
You said dark matter.
We know what you meant.
Yeah, it's okay. But somehow they had this giant, big red balloon that they had to travel with to transport dark matter, and then pull a syringe out of it, and then the syringe would only get a micro split,
like a bubble ball,
bubble ball, the gack of dark matter there, red matter. I was telling him, do you know what the difference is between a cyborg and a cybernetic organism is?
You told me this. We have it on video, and I still can't remember.
A cyborg is a human that has been turned into a machine, RoboCop, for example. A cybernetic organism is a machine that has humanoid parts, so the other way around, like the Terminator.
And Bicentennial Man.
Okay, Bicentennial Man.
Hey,
like
there we go.
Yeah, so
Okay.
was this? So Bicentennial Man had human parts? I never saw that.
You never seen Bicentennial Man?
No, that was in my weird like Robin Williams phase. It was like
That was a
kind of
pretty
intense.
good movie, man. It was fun.
For real. I mean,
It's
for
low key, man.
Like, synthetic life.
Yeah, he was a robot. He was first. So, man, talk about, let's do a patented record scratch right there.
Yeah,
Patent pending.
patent pending.
So yeah, so he
But
was.
for what do you guys liking the return of Worf? Like, what do you guys liking that?
I don't mind. I did see him pop up in this.
Put the record back up.
Hey, whatever needs to keep the show going. I don't care.
Oh, my bad.
No, hey, it's totally cool, man.
I was like, whoa, tell me
That's
more,
like-
tell me
that's
more
like our
about Bicentennial Man.
It's like our shtick right there. We just we go
My
off
bad.
the rails. No, this is good. Let's reel it back in and get back.
Yeah, Worf, he's back. But not only is Worf back, but he came back with Jerry Goldsmith's Klingon theme. And I thought for
The opera, the Klingon opera.
well, not the opera, but the music, the musical cue. Do do
Oh.
do do do. It was like the first song you heard, other than the Star Trek Next Generation theme in the motion picture. And every time Jerry Goldsmith did a movie, he would have the Klingon theme, and then it was adopted into Worf's theme in First Contact when he was on the Defiant fighting the Borg, and then they played it a few more times after that. But now it seems to be full blown. But I don't know if it was Worf a pacifist or a killer, because we met him and he chopped Frankie's head off.
Well, I mean, you got to think because I mean, from all the way from New Generations, like that episode from season 7, episode 21, like Firstborn, like when he meets his son from the future.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think that just changed everything because he got a glimpse into what he's like. The warrior's path was eventually going to get him killed.
Yeah, we got it. That's another plot hole that we haven't revisited in a while. Is Alexander? By the way, why was Worf adopted by a Russian family?
Is there an answer to this, or
I mean,
No,
they're
I don't know.
cold, like, I mean, they're used to handling cold blooded. Like, who else is going to handle like a tough Klingon child?
The guy was the son of a Klingon diplomat. So no one else could have taken care of him. He got to be adopted by the Rozhenkos.
I guess the Rozhenkos were there at Kittimer, from what I remember in the episode.
No one thought to take him back to Kronos.
Yeah, it wasn't really explained much. It was just like a little in Sins of the Father or Redemption, one of those two episodes from Next Gen. It was just like a little footnote. You know, they didn't really explain or go into it much.
I think
That
it
was
was.
it.
Just take this immigrant baby and we'll keep it and make it ours.
Yeah, I think it was actually family after the Best of Both Worlds, wasn't it? When the dad came back.
They did. They came on the Enterprise, you're right?
Yeah. I don't know. I always thought that was a weird quirk to Worf. I guess they just really wanted to write it in a prune juice joke or something. But anyway, that's my.
That's a warrior's drink.
Well, I liked Quark's response. Speaking of Star Trek Picard, Dominion War Round 2 looks like is starting up. I guess we're kind of getting into spoilers there. I just kind of thinking about what the plot is here, or what the thing is these rogue changelings look like they are trying to start another Dominion war with Lore and Moriarty as their leaders. What do you think?
It's plausible. I think it's definitely plausible. We come to know these characters as being like villains, but yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Well, they rated.
No, please. You're probably going to say the same thing.
Well, they raided the Daystrom Institute, where Lore is, and that's where you would probably drop off a character like Moriarty. So it's kind of like the Indiana Jones Area 51 house full of crates, So if you're gonna abduct two things that are crazy there, I don't know. That's where I think it's going, but we'll see. But if you saw this episode 3, they got stuck in a wormhole in a nebula. You know how you get out of a wormhole in Star Trek, right? Or you get out of a spatial tear?
No.
Chris Pine did it.
Oh.
You eject the warp core.
Yeah.
You
And
eject.
then you just impulse home. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
for the long journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that ending to Star Trek Insurrection where they're just actually cruising. like it doesn't go to warp. You just see them cruise because they got to get towed or something somewhere. But I think what I'm looking for in Star Trek Picard now is the Avengers shot with the whole crew one more time. But somehow,
together.
yeah, somehow
everybody, yeah.
So somehow they got to get Data back because he died unceremoniously in a computer simulation in the first season, right?
Right.
I mean, knowing Terry Mateus, like he's great writers. I'm sure he's gonna do it.
Yeah, you're right. I think
You will.
because I think a lot of people were disappointed in Star Wars. We never got the Trinity shot with Leia, Luke, and Han.
Yeah, we did not.
Leia didn't make it, and Han didn't make it.
Right.
None of them made it. They all died.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
All day in the movies.
Wow! Every movie killed off
Yeah,
killed off a legacy character.
Can
Whole
we not
character.
live, please?
Yeah, so sad.
I think it'll happen, guys. I really honestly don't think you could do it any other way other than the holodeck. And if they haven't used the holodeck yet, and I honestly, this isn't a spoiler, this is just like a prediction. Why wouldn't you show the Enterprise D bridge one more time, maybe on the holodeck? And Data's been really in the mind of Picard. Why couldn't you just have Data, basically a hologram, sitting at ops on the bridge of the Enterprise D, and just for old time's sake,
Well,
and Geordi's back.
Yeah, when
Worf's
they
back.
Just like a little quip.
when they
every time they
euthanized
walk
him,
by.
all they did was unplug his USBs, his thumb drives.
Right, it's a hard drive. It's just a big.
Just plug it back in.
It was basically, Alton Soong, his human brother, basically had him in a long.
Well, he was jealous little prick. He was all mad, like, I refuse. Like, Data's like, I can finally be. I'm Daddy's favorite now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, but like I said, the La Serena is just one big giant hologram, so they can easily recreate it there as part of the simulation, just to say goodbye to Data one more time.
Right? Like a send off, a memorial or something.
Yeah, I don't know,
That's a good point. Yeah.
but we'll see where it all goes. I have a lot of hope. I'm kind of sad the Q died, but I don't like the way he died. They should have explained it a little more with that whole thing, because I was kind of hoping that that's how the Picard story would end, with him ascending into a Q or something.
Me too. Really, the Stargazer episode to start season 2 was really, really, really awesome, and I really liked the return of John Delancey.
Oh yeah, how they explained
Really shocking Picard, right?
how they explained his
Back,
age,
it's like,
because he was always supposed to be a reflection of Picard, right? So
right.
so
and he's young, and then he changes to an old John Delancey as Q.
And I liked alternate universe Picard for a minute there, where he was a conqueror and he killed Gul Dukat and all these people. He has a skull of all the famous characters from throughout Star Trek Legacy.
Martok, yeah.
Hey, you guys interviewed Martok. I saw that.
We did.
Yeah,
J.G. Hertzler, yeah, he's an amazing person. A lot of good phone calls before we even aired that episode and started doing pre-production.
Yeah,
on it.
he's always
He's,
got that he always sounds like a pirate.
He's a nice guy. I remember holding my phone up to my 18-year-old daughter and saying, Martok's on the phone with me. It's actually J.G. Hertzler. I have him on mute, and I'm like, hang on.
You know who else he played, which is a good role? He played Deathstroke in some of the video games for the DC universe, which is actually who Deathstroke. Deathstroke is who they ripped off Deadpool.
Yeah.
So he actually had that. He had one eye too, just like Martok. So J.G. Hertzler, I think that's his name. He was a cool find. So I hope we see him again in Picard somewhere, because they mentioned him. They name dropped him in this last episode when they mentioned the House of Martok. But another person I want to see in Star Trek, actor at least, another good get if you ever see him, Jeffrey Combs. Where's he been?
Oh gosh, yes. Gosh, he's done so many roles. He's done the voiceover role as the box, basically, in Lower Decks, right? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where it's like a possessed type of AI.
And they just put him in another box, or they put him in his own Indiana Jones warehouse of
Yes,
of
with a
rogue
bunch of other
AIs.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that Family Guy. Yeah.
Yes.
But you know what would be funny? Now, I was thinking about this too. If they're going to have a crossover between Picard and Lower Decks, they should have Jerry O'Connell play the first officer and just have him show up as that guy wearing a beard.
Ransom?
Yeah, Ransom. Yeah, it was the first officer Ransom. And then just have that be a tie-in because he's an actor. You know, he could do it.
Totally.
Just kind of blow everyone's minds there.
I agree. That would be great. That would be great to see him live action.
Yeah, because we have the Titan there. We have Riker and Troy show up on Lower Decks. Why can't they exist in the same universe? By the way, I was going to say, did you notice that the Titan ship, the uniforms they're wearing, is the abandoned uniforms from Star Trek Generations?
Oh yeah, with like the flap that go. Yeah, you're right. It's a next generation uniform with a double breast. So and they said they can never get it to work. So then I saw them like, hey, it's those forgotten uniforms that didn't work. I got the little action figure where they tried to release them early and they actually were those uniforms, but they abandoned the whole idea. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's cool. Yeah,
I also like how they're using the badges from the future shows also. Just to kind of keep up with that chronology. That's cool. But anyway, do I have any other things I want to bring up? No, I just think it's a major improvement. I do kind of like the reason why Picard never met his son, because he's always in jeopardy. He's always in peril. And I like it how they kind of continued that throughout the story. That's cool. Yeah, if you ever see, we're always making fun of the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Khan! Yeah. It's a parallel to that. Okay. Where Captain Kirk had a son that he didn't know about. So now Picard had a son he didn't know about.
Well, I'm gonna have to,
pretty cool,
have to watch these now.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, no, it's there.
Well, I know Marclare, one of his favorite episodes is the Impossible Box, and that's really where you kind of see the introduction of even Jean-Luc as a young child. You know, we saw a lot of cool things in Picard. You know.
Well, I mean, yeah, like that episode, like where Sanji, that point when Sanji and Narek, like when Narek like betrays Sanji, and then when Sanji sees Picard, like that was like a pivotal moment. Like I don't even know, like why, like you just got betrayed by somebody who claimed that loved you and being like in with you, and all of a sudden you got this guy saying, "Trust me, please." Like at that point, she could just like tear it off, and God did God knows what, you know?
Yeah, like that was Picard season 2, right?
Season 2, yeah. Yeah. Season 2 had a lot of mixed feelings about season 2. I don't know about were there like glasses that Sanji or whatever had to wear in Edward suit in Brett Spiner played like an Elon Musk type, right? And he had a daughter played Soji, like a Soji clone, right? That he had to keep.
Yes.
Yeah, and she had to wear like 3D glasses, like to like leave the house or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's the Adam Sung's daughter.
Yeah. There were some points in there that like I kind of lost track of what's happening, but it was fun.
Well, she's a great actress. She's a great actress. It's great to see her back. Issa Briones.
Yeah, she sang Blue Skies when Data died. That was her singing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. That was actually a good nod to the end. But anyway, I think that's all we got for Star Trek Picard. You guys have any other points or anything you want to bring up in the meantime?
Can we do a prediction of Star Trek Picard?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you guys?
Like I said, I think Lore and Moriarty are going to be the villains. They're going to hire them. The Dominion's going to hire them to take over.
I think there's probably going to be like a changeling that's going to probably end up being like one of Picard's old like crewmates that just doesn't know. Like one of them's probably going to end up already dead.
Like a founder changeling, you mean, from like Odo's race?
Right, like, or something like that. Like, or like it's going to be like kind of like a sleeper cell agent.
Like Bashir was the changeling the whole time we didn't know.
Right, exactly. You know, and then it's like you think like say if it's Geordi or one of them, you think they're alive, but it's actually a changeling.
That's a good point. Yeah, because I did hear rumors they might kill one of them off, one of the next generation people off.
Well, then it's got to be Riker, then, right? Isn't he kind of ending his arc?
It seems like he is, like, you know, talking back to Picard now. You know, he's always wanted to, though. You know, he's always wanted to be like, Picard, sit down, number one. Like, you know, he's always wanted to in the back of his head.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking maybe Riker's the changeling because he's on the outs with his with Picard by the end of this episode, and even different parts. It seemed like he's on the outs with his family too. So he's kind of doing his own rogue thing.
Like he might even kidnap. No, he doesn't even have to be dead. Like I feel like it's gonna be like one of his trusted friends. You know, that's usually how like they always go. Like, you know, it's always the one you least expect. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, and I think there's still a little more Patrick Stewart even after this. But either way, I want to see Janeway and Sisko come back. So the entire Next Generation spin-offs just for like one more minute.
It'd be nice to see it.
I'm just looking forward to anything Terry Mateus does. I mean, he did 12 Monkeys, for Christ's sakes. Like, that's the top best show. And with this, he's going to do awesome with that.
Yeah, and he had Frankie Cole. He killed Frankie Cole from 12 Monkeys.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he had now. I mean, he's had like a few in season 2. Like, and he even did like a lot of 12 Monkeys references in like the last 2. Like, did you see the James Cole reference?
Oh yeah. There are a few of them.
Yeah, like, and then he even had like a lot of them, like Jane Kurtz, Agent Wells.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know a funny thing enough? Because he loves Back to the Future, that he had Christopher Lloyd in that.
In 12 Monkeys?
In 12 Monkeys, yeah. I know, I'm getting off, my bad.
No, Christopher Lloyd's awesome. He was Kruge in Star Trek 3. Come on, man. Anything Christopher Lloyd's amazing.
Oh, yeah. They were the first to say Kapla. Kapla.
Yes, he was.
I also like it how the bridge changed dramatically from Christopher Lloyd's bridge to Captain Kirk's bridge, even though it was the same ship. Yes. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, but
I do. Yes.
Somehow it never looked like that again in any Klingon story whatsoever.
Boy, I'm like, last thing I want to do, like, since something's on my mind, like, now that Picard is technically a synth in a way, like, what if like somebody like hacked him? Like, I'm waiting for him to get like some emergency feature of like, I know it probably will never happen. It's like something that's like imaginary. But what if all of a sudden like he's got like some emergency feature, like on worst case scenarios, he gets like enhanced strength and agility.
You know what though? I was thinking though, but Data had secret subroutines, right? So you remember he saw like Sung like being a blacksmith, and he was, "You are the crow, you are flying." Remember? And he's like, "You've unlocked new level 2 of being a human," or whatever. And also, Data had the mother, who was also an android, who had like a secret protocol. Like, "Oh, I see you've discovered like my wife is actually an android. Let me explain why." You know, so I feel like he can have some secret subroutines in there. They just didn't have to make him old again, though. I don't know. That was a little weird. Give the guy some years. Give him his booming voice back. You know, it's all of humanity. You know,
that is noticeably missing from him. He hasn't lost his dignity, but he has lost that booming voice of authority that, you know, you kind of get at least when I was a teenager, kind of like a second father figure, right? Like. You love his philosophical phrases, but man, with that strong voice and just his apparent, just like apparent statements that just come out of him, that it's like second nature to him. And to us, it's like we're eating it up. We're like, what else is he going to say? It's so philosophical.
He was on Conan once, and Conan asked him, like, "You have such a great voice, so it's full of grandiose, and it's like awesome. How do you do it?" You know, cigarettes and whiskey. So that was his joke there. Yeah, but anyway, I think I gotta put a pin on this because we got to get back to more movie news.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I know, right?
Thanks for showing up, guys.
I know it's been fun. We should catch up with more apparently Doctor Who news too, maybe. But
don't get me started on that one. I'm a big Whovian.
Hey, Russell T, man.
Especially from Peter Capaldi. That's one of my favorites. I think he's the best mix of Eccleston and Tennant.
I think with Peter Capaldi, they were trying to get someone who looked like House. You know, like the show on Fox, House. So they were trying to do a parallel there. But anyway, we could talk about that for days too.
Right.
Anyway.
I was like running out of juice on one of our main cameras.
I know, right?
Oh, okay.
I've been looking at it. I'm like, whoa.
Bryan Kreutz, Marclare Curry on a captain's log. Thank you guys for joining us on this special episode of Star Trek Watch. Star Trek Watch. We do a whole thing. But anyway,
thanks for having us, Abel and Marcus.
We'll catch you next time. All right, that's it for Star Trek Watch.
Oh, would you look at that?
Wow.
Man.
Well, anyway.
Vex.
What other news is going on in the world?
I don't know. I think I have to look up some news because I was a little floored today.
I got some.
Tell me.
Mike Flanagan. You know who he is?
Tell me.
He made Dr. Sleep.
Oh, he did.
And Haunting of Hill House.
And Black. Oh my God.
Mass.
Black Mass.
Yes.
That freaking show is awesome.
Mike Flanagan is the real deal, and apparently he is lobbying to do a Nightmare on Elm Street project.
Oh.
So that will be badass for capital B.
Be bonkers.
Especially if Robert Englund comes back for one more.
I got chills. I'm ready. I'm ready for some Robert Englund.
And he has said, I have a whole take for it that I've been working out for the last couple of years.
Oh man, Englund.
Robert Englund, Mike Flanagan.
That sounds like a match made in hell.
Shut up and take my money.
Anyway, I want to thank our special guests, Bryan Kreutz and Marclare Curry. Check out their channel, A Captain's Log, on YouTube and wherever else they are broadcasting.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, guys.
Yeah. But anyway, that has been our hot take on Shop Talk Movie News on Clubhouse Movies Podcast. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, wherever we're around. I think we're still on YouTube, but who knows?
Yeah.
I think we're still banned on YouTube
somewhere.
Penny is so mad. And look out for the Penny Awards.
Yeah,
and
please do.
Yeah, check out our review of
Quantumania.
Yeah, and also check out our review for A Knock at the Cabin. Oh man, that's gonna be amazing.
And maybe Black Crab if you're lucky.
And maybe Black Crab. That's the movie nobody saw and nobody heard our review to.
Because it hasn't been put out yet.
There was so many episodes in the backlog.
Oh man. One day.
Anyway,
this job will pay.
I know. Anyway, we're holding them ransom.
Give us $2 million and we will release our backlog. Do you want to play a game? Give us $3 million and we'll delete the backlog. We will destroy the entire project for $3 million.
I'll throw my camera at the wall. I'd slap Will Smith.
I'd let him throw the camera at my balls for $3 million.
Oh, man.
Anyway, that has been an episode of Shop Talk Movie News on Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I'm your host, Marc Rubalcaba, Mr. Abel Pineda. We'll catch you next time.
Woo!
Shut up and take my money.